Hi, this is Ravi here once again, back with the second migration ready reckoner version 7.12 as part of the video tutorial series. The migration ready reckoner 7.12 has been a result of receiving frequent feedback and suggestions from the various people using it. We have overcome two major issues in this new version 7.12. Number one, to find out the exact pin codes, whether you'll be able to deliver to those pin codes or not, or whether those pin codes come under ODA. The second aspect is the incorporation of the service tax element for GC notes whose value is more than 750 rupees of freight. Now let's go through this quickly to understand how to use this ready reckoner. If you see this ready reckoner, it is more or less similar to the earlier version except with the new changes that have been explained just now. Once again, you have to use this with a little caution in the sense that you should not alter any figures in any of these columns except the white columns where you need to enter the figures. You should not enter anything here also. As I was explaining to you earlier, the VSL rates should be at a minimum rate of 4 rupees per kg and it should be charged at minimum 40 kgs per LR. Let's say here you take a rate of, let's say, 3 rupees is your booking rate with the customer and you have 20 kgs booked. Now if you look at this, 3 rupees, the moment you hit 3 rupees here, it turns into red. Let's say if you change this to 3.99, 3 rupees 99 per kg, is it allowed? No, it's still showing as red. Unless you make the minimum rate of 4 rupees, it will not change to green. And since the minimum chargeable weight is going to be 40 kgs, 4 rupees for 4 rupees into 40 kgs will give you a freight value of 160, and the service tax component as per the courier industry will be 19.78, totaling to 179.78 and rounded off to 180 rupees. Okay, this is one part of it. Second part of it is the actual weight of 20 kgs which is here. This will be charged subject to the condition that the consignment that you have received for booking is heavy in nature. Suppose it is bulky and it is occupying more space. The simplest thing to do is, instead of calculating the dimensions, you'll have to double the weight. So here we have given you a field where you can charge it for twice the amount. So if it is 20 kgs and is bulky, you would select 2, otherwise you would select 1. If you select 2, that means it is doubling the weight, 20 kgs will become 40 kgs and will be 40 kgs. Let's say for example here it is 21 kgs. Let's see how this is throwing up here. 21 kgs into 2 comes to 42 rupees, but you will be charging for 45 kgs because the policy says that you must charge it for the next higher 5 kgs. Normally, what we have seen is if it is 42 kgs, you are charging for 42 kgs, that is wrong. With 42 kgs, you must charge it for the next higher 5, that is 45 kgs. And then here you will enter the number of articles, 3 articles or 4 articles, whatever it is. Suppose you have not received any article at all, it should turn red. Similarly, if the party has given you 0 kgs, that will also turn red. That means you cannot book any consignment when the party has given you a material which is not having any weight at all. It is 0 kgs and he has not given you any article at all. It is 0 articles. That means this will not apply. So you must get a material from the party which is weighing at least 1 kg and also having 1 article at the minimum. Only then it will calculate. You see here this 180 rupees. You have got this calculation spread over 4 columns 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the final figures that you need to take into account because these first three figures are used for the calculation purposes step by step. The main difference between the first green column and the second green column is that these figures are rounded off. When you round off the figures, there will be a difference in the total VSL rate and the total freight which comes in the GC note. For example, as per the VSL rate, we are supposed to charge 180 rupees, whereas as per the rounded off rates, it comes to 181, which means it is 1 rupee more. In certain cases, it will be higher also. The difference will be a little higher. So, in order to arrive at the same rate of 180 rupees, the adjustment is done in the last green column where the total freight is 180 rupees. And if you see that the surcharge, which is highlighted, here it shows 4 rupees and here it is showing 3 rupees. The amount of 1 rupee has been deducted from surcharge in order to make this kind of adjustment, which is again done automatically. Now let's say you have, let's go through this once again. Let's say you have a rate of 6 rupees and you have 10 kgs actual weight with 2 articles. 6 into 10 is 6 rupees per kg and 10 rupees actual weight, and if it is not bulky, it is going to be on weight basis only. We charge for 10 and the 10 minimum will be 40. So 6 into 40 is 240. Service tax component is 29.66, totaling to 269.66, and rounding it off as 270. If you see the calculation step by step, in the fourth column you will see the same figure of 270 here, which is appearing here, and the surcharge has been reduced from 11 rupees to 10 rupees so as to make sure that the total in the GC note equals or tallies the total of the VSL freight. So these are the rates that you need to put it in the GC note. Another important element that we have taken into consideration here is about the PIN code. Let's say if the customer is given booking for a certain PIN code, you will have to find out whether you can book to that PIN code or not. So in the Ready Reckoner, we have inbuilt this particular feature which says whether you can book a consignment to a particular PIN code or not. Let's say you have this PIN code 56001. When you hit this PIN code here, it will show you which is the corresponding service area, that is Bangalore GPO, and whether you can book it or not. Yes, you can book it, and it comes under a particular station in Bangalore. Now suppose you want to select another PIN code, you can just hit the down arrow here and scroll down and select any particular PIN code. Once you select this PIN code 560030, it shows Postal Road. Yes, you can book, and the station is Bangalore. Now suppose you hit another PIN code. For example, this PIN code you hit here, or you take a PIN code 50038. The message says that sorry, you cannot book to this PIN code. Sorry, it is ODA and the station is not listed. So this way you will be able to decide whether you can book the consignment or not. Because most cases, what happens you see when people are booking to ODA, the consignment is not delivered because of the high cost involved in door delivery and resulting in dissatisfaction of the customer. So it's better to avoid a certain booking where you can't deliver, and care has to be taken to ensure that only where serviceable areas are there, only to those areas you must be able to book consignments. Now let's go back to the main module here. So this is how it happens. Now here in this thing, since the freight is less than 750, the service tax element is 0. Now let's take another example where service tax is involved. Let's say the booking rate is 35 rupees per kg and 10 kgs and a minimum chargeable weight of 40 kgs, the freight comes to 1400, which is more than 750 rupees. Service tax 173.04 and total of 1573.04, rounded off to 1574. Here if you see, the rounded off amount in the GC note comes to 1576, which is 2 rupees more than the BSL rate. So what we have done is the surcharge at 30% has been reduced from 71 to 69, which has been highlighted in red here, and the balance figures are put in the GC note, where the service tax component of 174 has been included because there is subtotal of 1402. Based on that, service tax has been worked out and the total amount has been arrived at 1574. I request all of you to use this readiness 7.12 at the time of your booking. Most of you might ask one particular question, in the sense that when a booking clerk goes to the office premises of the client, he may not be carrying his laptop or he may not be having access to a computer to make use of the ready reckoner. What is the next best solution would be, when the booking clerk goes to the client, obtains the details of the booking, he can call up the office and inform the details over the telephone, so that in the office the migration ready reckoner could be opened and the details filled in to arrive at the figures that have to be written into this note, which again can be communicated over telephone. This would become very easy and errors would be reduced, and in the process we will be able to give better service to the customer without any confusion. I hope this ready reckoner will be useful to all of you. Thank you.